All right, everyone. Today we're doing an introduction to Photoshop and just the basics. All we're doing today is learning how to complete the requirements for our macro triptych project. Today we're going to be covering how to go over creating a custom sized canvas in Photoshop and selecting a resolution. We'll also learn how to select a workspace to make sure that all the tools we need to use are available. After that, we're going to learn about the frame tool, how to use it, and then we'll learn two different ways to save our work. The first way is to save our work as a PSD file, a Photoshop document file. So if you get halfway done your work, you want to save it as a PSD so you can always open it up after the fact or open it up the next day. If you do get everything done in one sitting, make sure that you save your work as a JPEG. There's a special way we do it called export, and I'll show you how to do that today as well. So step one is to open up Photoshop. There we go. Now, I'm assuming that you've already edited your photos using Lightroom. Now, you know how to use Lightroom. I would encourage you at least to edit the macro photos that you've taken. The photos that I'm showing you today have already been edited just to keep this tutorial a little bit shorter. All right, so as Photoshop loads right here, we're going to go to the little blue New File button and give it a click. From here, we're going to choose a custom sized canvas. Now we're working in we're working in inches, not images. We're working in inches because our printer is made for the US market. It's measuring in inches. Just makes our math easier. So make sure you select inches. Next, we're going to select 11 inches as the width and a height of 4.25 inches as the height. Our resolution should be 600 pixels per inch. Make sure it says pixels per inch, not pixels per centimeter. They're different measurements. You want PPI, pixels per inch. The rest should auto-populate for you. You don't need to worry about it. Just go click Create. And there you have it. We have a custom sized canvas. On the left side of your screen, we have all the tools that we can work with in a given workspace. This is great for photography, but what we're doing today is more like graphic design. So we're going to go up to Window and select Workspace, and let's choose Essentials. This should give us all the tools we need today. Now, if you look over here, you'll notice that the tools available have changed. What I'd like you to do is select the Frame tool. Now, you can make a custom selection. I'm going to choose something that looks about right to me. Just eyeball it. You can make it whatever shape or size you want, but you need to leave enough space that you can fit 3 of them side by side on your canvas. All right, I'm happy with that. The next thing I'm going to do is go up to my Move tool, and I'm going to click the Move tool to do the next step. From here, I'm going to grab our frame number 1, and I'm going to drag it down to the plus. I've made a copy. Now I'm going to do that one more time and make a new copy. I now have 3 frames on my canvas. Using the Move tool, which we have already selected, I'm just going to grab my frame, and just like that, you can see when I line up everything correctly, I'll have this pink line showing me that everything is looking good. I'm going to do that again, and there we have it. I have all 3, and if I'm really careful, check it out. I have perfect alignment, perfect spacing. Now, if I do want to change my spacing later on, just hold down Shift on your keyboard, click your other one, click your third one, let go of Shift, and now you can move the whole thing around. Notice the pink lines going up and down and left and right. This tells me I'm perfectly centered. All right. So I'm going to start off by dragging and dropping one of the images I've already taken into the frame I have created. I'm going to go ahead and open up my File Explorer. I'm going to go to my OneDrive, and I'm going to open up Photography 11. Here, I already have some macro photos ready to add. Again, just drag and drop, just like so, and you can see that the image fits nicely into that frame. From here, if I click it, I can move it around. I can make it bigger. I can make it smaller. I can change how it lines up. And you know what? I think I like it just like that. When I'm happy, I'm going to go up and press the check mark. Cool. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to open up my image file again, or my Explorer file again. I'm going to grab my next picture. I'm going to drag it into the center. And this one I need to expand a bit to fit. And I kind of like the way that looks right there. I think that looks good. And again, I'm going to press the check mark to finish my selection. Here we are. The last one. Let's move this out of the way so I can drag and drop it. And drag and drop it into our final frame. Now that looks pretty good. We got a nice leading line leading us to the center. We've got our balanced exposure and our balanced composition of the ant's face. And then we have our ant over here. But, you know, I don't really like the way the ant's facing. I'd prefer it if the ant was facing the other direction, and then we'd have a nice leading line leading us back to the center. I think that makes more sense from a compositional point of view. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the box right here, the boxes that I use to expand or shrink my images. I'm going to give that a click. And now I'm going to go the width, and I'm going to put a little negative right there to give it a negative value. And you can see, let's do that one more time. When I give it a negative value, the image flips. And like that, I have the ant pointing me to the center. I have the scarlet creeper buds pointing us to the center. I think compositionally, it's a little bit more balanced. And I just think it looks a little bit nicer. Yeah. All right. Press your check mark once you're happy. And that's about the long and short of it. I think this one looks done, looks complete. Now, if I did want to change the photos in the frame after the fact, I could just drag and drop a new photo on top. Or if I wanted to change the position of the photos later on, I could always do so in one of two ways. If I wanted to change where the image actually was, I could just click the frame and drop it where I like it. The other thing I could do is if I wanted to change the crop of the image, I could just click on the image in the Layers tab, click the image right here, and you can see now I can move it around within that frame. All right. Now there are two ways to save our images. If you're not completely done today, what you can do is you can go up to File and you can go Save. I'm going to save this as a PSD file. It's the first one that should come up. If it doesn't, click on the bar and you can choose from the selections. From here, I'm going to choose my OneDrive. I'm going to choose my macro photography project, and I'm going to call this Triptych PSD because that is what it is. Great. And you can see I have now saved my PSD file, PS for Photoshop. And if I ever want to open up this file again, even if it's tomorrow or the next day, it's saved and I can continue to work in this program without losing any information. Cool. The next way, and the way you'll need to use if you're trying to hand in this project, is you can go to File, Export, Export As, and make sure that you select JPEG. This should auto-populate correctly for you. You do want it in sRGB. You do want to embed the color profile. All you need to really do here is press export. Now this is your Triptych image, so let's save it back into Photography 11, macro project, and let's call this JPEG Triptych complete. Now I would recommend that you give it a nice creative name as well. This will be useful later on when we do our gallery walk. So I'm going to call this a nice creative title. I don't know, man. Let's call it Nature's Workers. Okay, that's a pretty weak title, but hey, it's the best I could come up with on the spot. So Triptych, this is complete. This is Nature's Workers. If you want to put your name on it, that's fine too. Hit save, and that's it. Let's double check, make sure that we have actually got it, and we do. So it is saved where we wanted it to. Looks pretty good to me. Here is my Triptych saved as a JPEG that I can now upload. All right, that's it. If you have any questions in class, make sure you raise your hand and I'll be here to help. Until next time.